What is going on, Lego Maniacs? It's Tyler Guy here, and as you guys can see, today we're going to be reviewing the massive Death Star. As you guys could see, you couldn't even see me behind it, and that is the 10143 Death Star 2. Came out in 2005, retailed for $270 US, had 3,441 pieces, and it had no minifigs. Believe it or not, the UCS sets back then did not come with minifigs. So kind of interesting, but this set's still fantastic, absolutely massive, very, very detailed. What we'll be doing in this review is we'll be giving it a very detailed review, as well as looking at some pictures to compare it against, just to see how accurate it really is. But really do like this set. It was the biggest in my collection for a very long time. But enough talk, let's get right into it. So to begin, I'll give you guys a 360 view of this Death Star, and then we'll get obviously detailed into it. So very, very nice looking set. Love all the detail. They really knocked this one out of the park. So to begin, let's just start with one of my favorite areas of all, and that is the Death Star laser itself. So as you guys can see, very nice detailing. Do really like it. It would be quite plain without this area of the set. One thing I will say though is it's very flimsy to kind of put it together. I didn't really like that, but all in all, still very, it's very nice looking. It's just, yeah, it's just a tricky thing to kind of put together. It falls apart a lot, but once it's there, it stays pretty sturdy. And then we'll move on to the Super Stardestroyer. So if you guys remember the review I did, this is the mini Stardestroyer in comparison to the Death Star. And then you saw what a Stardestroyer was in comparison to the Super Stardestroyer. So it's kind of crazy how much bigger. I mean, a Stardestroyer would probably be a little stud on this. Maybe 2 studs or 1.5. So anyways, very cool. Next thing we'll move on is to the Plaque, obviously. So I really did like this. It's 160 kilometers in diameter. As you guys can see, there's over a million, about 2 million that are in this Death Star 2. 15,000 turbo lasers. I mean, just some of the stuff, even an unknown number of deflector shield generators. So very cool. Really do like that. Moving on, we'll actually look at this, what's actually supporting this entire set. So believe it or not, it's just this stand. So they have this set so well balanced that this literally supports this entire thing. And this set weighs about 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds. It's heavy. It's not a light set at all. Then we'll move on to some of the detail that they got in here. So I like that they did Death Star 2 and not the first Death Star, just because it'd be kind of boring. It just would literally just be one big ball. Whereas this gives a little bit more character. I do like that. And it's actually the exact same build on top and bottom. They didn't really vary it, but you can't really tell, you know, that those are exact. They did put tons of detail into this. Really did like that. This set took quite a bit to build. Again, it was one of the biggest sets I ever owned. Well, still ever owned, but it was the biggest set I owned until maybe the Super Stardestroyer. And even then, I don't think that surpassed it. It's not until basically the new Stardestroyer, yeah, that I really got a bigger set than this. So what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna show you guys kind of what it looks like inside, because when I was like a kid, what I wanted to do to this is actually build an interior. So as you guys can see, you could actually have an interior in this set. It'd be tricky. They definitely did not do that with UCS sets back then. They didn't start that, I don't believe, until the Super Stardestroyer. But still, anyways, you could fit interior in there. I never did that, but maybe eventually I will. I just never really, I just never got around to it. But it is cool, the fact that you could have it. And again, there is no minifigs. They did not do that with UCS sets back then. But still, all in all, very cool looking set. Do really, really like it. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the pictures just to see how accurate this set is.
But before we check out those pictures, I thought I'd just also center in on this area of the set. So as you can see, they really went above and beyond, just making sure all the detailing looked correct, you know, to try and give it the impression that it is under construction. As we'll find in these pictures, this area could maybe be a little bit more detailed, but it would make the construction really flimsy if they made it as flimsy as it is in the basically the movie prop. So I wouldn't recommend Lego did that. I think they did a fantastic job building this, and I think they'd have a very difficult job actually surpassing this if they made a new model out of it nowadays. I think it stands up to basically our standards for the present day, being 2019. So to begin, let's just take a look at some pictures of the Death Star. So right here, very authentic, normal picture that we're used to. As we can see, Lego did a really good job with the detail right here looking like it was being constructed. As you can see, this area is basically completely built, whereas this area and a bit into here is not. So Lego did a great job. I think that they knocked it out of the park. Here's another picture. Yeah, I don't know what that's from. That almost reminds me of the Borg from Star Trek more, to be perfectly honest. But as you can see, they really captured the look of this set. Yeah, I can't really... Here's the actual model from the movie set, so the prop. So, I mean, just Lego did a fantastic job. They could have maybe made it a little bit more. Like, if you notice in this area, it's a little bit weirdly constructed where it's almost off on its own. That would be kind of difficult to build with Lego and make it sturdy, but I think Lego captured the look, which is really what you want from something like this. And again, much more interesting than just this. That's literally what we would have got if they just made the Death Star from episode 4, which is still cool, but it's just, it would be really boring. Honestly, really boring. My hope is that they eventually will make a new Death Star, but until that happens, we still have this one, which this one's still a great set. And here it is in all its glory. So just great looking set. One of my favorite sets again. Here's one more picture, kind of a video game looking depiction. But yeah, very, very cool set. One thing that they could have maybe included, which I just noticed right now, they could have thrown in a little interior with a tiny Millennium Falcon. I mean, it would be so small. If they were to make it accurate to size, it'd be a stud. But if they did it like the new Stardestroyer, they could have maybe made a little bit oversized Millennium Falcon in the interior, kind of flying out. I know we're getting really picky and super creative, but I think it would be a really cool inclusion just to show it kind of like blowing up from the inside. Anyways, just a little thing that I noticed. I mean, if they had something like this, it's a terrible picture. Here's a little bit better one. But yeah, just they could have maybe done something with that space, because there is a lot of space in the middle of that Death Star. But yeah, those are the pictures. I thought that they would help out with the review. Well guys, that was my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, really do like this set. It's honestly in my top 5 sets. I can't quite decide which one's number 1, but this one is in my top 5 as far as favorites go. Although there is some little things that I like better, like I'd wish it had some minifigs, but they didn't have minifigs back then, as we talked about. And that little, the laser, I mean, I'm really happy that they have that laser area. It's just really flimsy. So that was kind of frustrating. But all in all, very good model, very well constructed, especially the bottom area. That the fact that that's able to support the entire Death Star is quite amazing. Just that little stand, but it's just very well balanced. Very well put together, very good deal as well. 3,441 pieces for you guys that want price per piece. For 270 US is a very good deal. You're paying less than 10 cents a piece, which is awesome. And I do believe this set definitely does it justice. Looking at those pictures, Lego definitely knocked this one out of the park.
it could actually have an interior. Like I was saying, I was planning on doing that, but I never got around to it, and it'd be really flimsy, but you could actually fit the old 2001 Imperial shuttle in there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my review. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this set? Do you not? Do you maybe own it? Always curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it. And yeah, I mean, just a great set all in all. Really do like it. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. But if you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that little bell so you're notified for any new UCS sets. Because I plan on doing the Tantive 4 after this, as well as comparing the Death Star, Star Destroyer, Super Star Destroyer, and Tantive 4 all together. Not really to see which one's the best, just really, I just think it would be a cool video to compare them all. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. But take care. I'll catch you on the next one.